Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute, text 15. So we started this purport, but we left the middle. The shloka is Namam Dushkritino Muda Prapadyante Naradham Mayaya Aparitagyan Asuram Avam Ashrita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So first, Prabhupada discussed in detail about the mudas. Mudas are those who are grossly foolish, like hardworking beasts of burden. Prabhupada gave the example of an ass. Second is, another class of dushkriti or miscreant is called the Naradham, or the lowest of mankind. Nara means human being and Adham means the lowest. Out of 8,400,000 different species of living beings, there are 400,000 human species. Out of these, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. The civilized human beings are those who have regulative principles of social, political, and religious life. Those who are socially and politically developed, but who have no religious principles, must be considered Naradham. That's Krishna is saying that. Those who don't surrender unto me, they are Naradhams, lowest among the mankind. Nor is religion without God religion, because the purpose of following religious principles is to know the supreme truth and man's relationship with him. In the Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly states that there is no authority above him. Krishna says that later on. And that he is the supreme truth, supreme absolute truth. Prabhupada used that word also. The civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of his eternal relationship with the supreme truth, the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, who is all powerful. So this is a real civilization, not that we have economic development and nuclear weapons or this technology, that technology. That's not civilization's development. That's just okay. Technical know-how is there and in search for a better, comfortable life. But is it really there? That we have to see. So the real civilized form of human life that Krishna is mentioning is one who revives or tries to revive his lost consciousness of his eternal relationship. Eternal relationship. It's always there. Eternal means no beginning, no end. But we have forgotten it. Whoever loses this chance is classified as a Naradham. Means who in the human form of life, whoever doesn't take up this opportunity to reviving his lost consciousness is considered as Naradham. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in the mother's womb, an extremely uncomfortable situation, he prays to God for deliverance and promises to worship him alone as soon as he gets out. So this is in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that. To pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being, because he is eternally related with God. But after his deliverance, a child forgets the difficulties of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, the illusory energy. So even in the womb, we can say, oh, child doesn't know any language, how is he going to pray? The soul can pray. The body of a child is different, but the soul can really pray. And it prays. Bhagavatam says that. But we forget. As soon as we are out of some difficult situation, that's why there's that doha, no? Dukh mein sumiran sat kare, sukh mein kare na koe. So, but this is our condition. This is Maya, illusion. We forget that we were in difficulty. But if we see through the eyes of scriptures, there's a scriptures. Scriptures are for guiding us. That the difficulties, they don't just go away. We have forgotten them or we got used to them. That's all. Like the difficulties on any material life, birth, old age, disease, death. And then adidavik, adibhautik, adhyatmik klesha. They're always there. Either we learn to live with them or we somehow mitigate them a little bit here and there. But the other difficulties are ready to come in our lives. What about those? So those who are really into so-called enjoyment of material life, they say, oh, just because difficulties are going to there, does that mean that I don't enjoy it? I don't go to bars and I don't go to movies and I don't enjoy with friends or eating meat or drinking or this or that. No, first of all, that's not enjoyment. And secondly, this is what human life is for. To understand why I have to go through this suffering again and again and again and again. And what can I do to stop it? That's a human life. That's a higher intelligence, better consciousness. Not to figure out how I can eat meat in a better way, how can I cook it in a better way, and what kind of liquor I can drink, and how old that liquor bottle is, and that will make it more enjoyable, or whatever the different aspects of enjoyment people have. Is that really enjoyment? And on top of it, we don't know where we're going to take birth next life, in what condition. Whether we are going to be have a healthy body or not, a very, very diseased body, whether we're going to be born as a poor, very poor man, could be born as a beggar also, or very rich, depending upon our karma. But whether rich or poor, everybody has to go through these miseries. So what's the point? What are we trying to enjoy? And this is what Krishna says, those who are naradhams, mean those who don't surrender unto me, or those who don't even want to take up this spiritual life or bhakti, then they are lowest of the mankind. Lowest. We could be a professor in a university, big university, in Harvard University, or we could be a big scientist, or a rich man, or big powerful leader. If we are not surrendered or surrendering, or in the process of surrendering, then we are lowest according to Krishna's instructions. So what's the point? Just for enjoying for few years of fame, name, money, and this and that, people following me, media following me. If I'm not surrendering, what's the point? It's all temporary. Even the money, somebody has earned billions and billions of dollars, it's all temporary. Cannot take it with him. But Maya, this is where Maya comes in. Maya really covers our intelligence, and we think, I'm the best. I can do whatever I want. I can control the whole world. Can't control your body even. How can I control the whole world? It's a duty of the guardians of children to revive the divine consciousness dormant in them. The 10 processes of reformatory ceremonies, the sanskar, as enjoined in the Manusmriti, which is a guide to religious principles, are meant for reviving God consciousness in the system of Varnashram. The whole process is to revive this forgotten or dormant God consciousness. However, no process is strictly followed now in any part of the world, and therefore 99.9% of the population is Naradha. This is the truth, actually. When the whole population becomes Naradham, naturally, all their so-called education is made null and void by the all-powerful energy of the physical nature. We think we are very educated. I have PhD or post-PhD or this or that. Krishna says, then Naradham. Prabhupada says their whole education is made null and void. According to the standard of the Gita, a learned man is he who sees on equal terms, Vidya Vinay Sampanne, the shloka we studied, on equal terms the learned Brahman, the dog, cow, and the elephant, and the cow eater, and the dog eater, sorry. So one who sees all of them on equal terms, because he sees the soul, not the body. That is the vision of a true devotee. Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is incarnation of Godhead as Divine Master, delivered the typical Naradhams, the brothers Jagai and Madhai, who showed how the mercy of a real devotee is bestowed upon the lowest of mankind. So the Naradham who is condemned by the personality of Godhead can again revive his spiritual consciousness only by the mercy of a devotee. So, okay, we are Naradham, but a devotee can give his mercy and uplift us by giving us the process of devotional service, by making us following that process somehow or other. Krishna, okay, well, Krishna himself doesn't interfere. It's okay, Yamraj or Vidhata has given, okay, this person is going to go through these issues in his life. This is his destiny. But Krishna's devotee, they know the purpose of life. They know what Krishna wants. They can interfere. While one goes through his destiny, but still he can take up devotional service by the mercy of devotees and alter his, whether this lifetime's course of life or at least next lifetime's course of life. He can alter. But that happens only by the mercy of a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in propagating the Bhagavad Dharma or activities of the devotees, has recommended that people submissively hear the message of the personality of Godhead. The essence of this message is Bhagavad Gita. The lowest amongst human beings can be delivered by this submissive hearing process only. But unfortunately, they even refuse to give an oral reception to these messages. What to speak of surrendering to the will of the Supreme Lord? So refuse to give an oral reception. You don't even want to hear. Because it just doesn't has any taste. They don't have any taste for it, or they don't even understand. There is a necessity, urgent necessity of listening to this, reading Bhagavad Gita. Forget about following the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. There is no urgency in their life. First, when we are little, oh, I'm busy with my school and I need to get good grades, good education, admission in good college, and this and that. And when we are out of college, oh, I have to make money, I have to get a job, I have to get married, have a family. I don't have time for that. I'll do it when I'm old. And when we are a little older, oh, I have to take care of my children's education, and I'm getting sick, my parents are getting sick, my wife is getting sick, so I have to take care of them. And then when I'm old, by that time, our mind is so conditioned. It is difficult, very, very difficult to listen to Bhagavad Gita. Or by that time, our health situation is so bad. We have no time, we cannot, no energy left also. In fact, when we go preach into maybe a grandfather, then the grandkids come, no, leave our Dadaji alone, he is so young, don't bother him with all this. When are we going to take it up? And the most important message of our life, Naradhams, or the lowest of mankind, willfully neglect the prime duty of the human. And that's why they call it Naradham. Could be very, very big man in this lifetime, but next life, where is he going? Nobody can say. Of course, we like to write Swargiya so and so, but are we sure he really went to Swarga? The next class of Dushkriti is called Mayaya Pritagyan, or those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusory material energy, or Maya. They are mostly very learned fellows, great philosophers, poets, literati, scientists, etc. But the illusory energy misguides them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. So illusory energy. See, Maya works on those who are not surrendered or not surrendering to the Supreme Lord. The rest, everybody is covered by Maya. And Maya is what? In a sense, to understand that we do stupid things and we think that I'm the most important person and I'm doing the best things. There are a number of Maya Pratagyana at the present moment, even amongst the scholars of the Bhagavad Gita. In the Gita, in plain and simple language, it is stated that Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is none equal to or greater than him. He is mentioned as the father of Brahma, the original father of all human beings. In fact, Shri Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but also the father of all species of life. Because everybody, everything comes from him. All the souls come from him. And actually, the body also, made of 5 gross, 3 subtle elements, they all come from Krishna. Our body, yes, our parents are helpful in some ways that we have gotten this body. That's about it. Even they don't know how the body is formed in the womb of the mother. But all the elements for the body comes from Krishna. All the energy required for the functioning, for the upkeep of the body comes from Krishna. And Krishna himself doesn't do it. He has so many different energies to take care of all these things. Once I was discussing with somebody and he said, oh, so God, why he has to sit down? What kind of God he is that he has to sit down and make everybody and this and that. I said, yes. I said, even, do you think even, suppose now, Elon Musk, the richest man of the world, I said, do you think wherever he opens his office, whichever city, whichever country, he himself goes and makes sure the lease is signed properly and all the furniture is there and all the electrical outlets, they are plugged in properly and wiring is done or plumbing? He is not going to do that. He has managers. He has so many employees to take care of it. So if Elon Musk doesn't have to do it, why Krishna, the Supreme Lord, has to do all these things? He has energies. He has demigods. 33 crore demigods are there to look after the business of the material universe. But people don't understand. There are a great number of Mayaya Pritagyan at the present moment, even amongst the scholars. It is stated that Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is none equal to or greater than him. Krishna himself says, Matta Paratram Nanyat. There is no one superior to me. In fact, Krishna is said to be not only the father of Brahma, but also the father of all species of life. He is a root of the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. Impersonal Brahman or Brahmjyoti and Paramatma are his aspects. They're not separate from him. And they're dependent on him, actually. The super soul in every entity is his plenary portion. Paramatma, in every living entity, is his plenary portion. He's a fountainhead of everything, and everyone is advised to surrender unto his lotus feet. Despite all these clear statements, the Maya Aparita deride the personality of Supreme Lord and consider him merely another human being. Just because he performs his pastimes as a human being, but even in his pastimes, he shows he's not just an ordinary person, he's super person, superhuman. People still, because their knowledge is covered by Maya, they cannot understand. They do not know that the blessed form of human life is designed after the eternal and transcendental feature of the Supreme Lord. So, blessed form of human life. In fact, this is also said in Bible, I made the man after my image. So, image means the Lord and we as human beings will look similar. So, same we can say, but his body is made of Satchit and Ananda, and our body is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. That's it. But we look the same. All the unauthorized interpretations of the Gita by the class of Maya Aparita Jnana outside the purview of the Parampara system are so many stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding. The deluded interpreters do not surrender unto the lotus feet of Shri Krishna, nor do they teach others to follow this principle. So if we read so many editions of Bhagavad Gita, if we read them, except the bona fide ones, as Prabhupada said, in the Parampara system, in the Vaishnava Parampara system, nobody teaches us to surrender unto the Supreme Lord, which is the final instruction. Sarva dharman paritejya mam ekam sharanam vraja. But they don't teach that. And first of all, they don't even believe in Krishna as the Supreme Lord. And then how come they want to teach that let's surrender to Krishna? And forget, they themselves don't surrender. How are they going to teach their followers to follow this principle? So then that is why they miss the whole crux of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The last class of Dushkriti is called Asuram Bhavam Ashrita, for those of demonic principles. This class is openly atheistic. Openly. atheistic. They don't believe in the Supreme Lord. Some of them argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. And they give so many of the other arguments. First, as Prabhupada said, they say Supreme Lord can never descend. Well, how can we put a condition on the Supreme Lord? Supreme Lord means supremely independent. He's controller, owner, proprietor, enjoyer of everything. That he can go wherever he wants to. It's all his kingdom. It's just like if we say Prime Minister Modi cannot go there in India, cannot go there. No, he is the Prime Minister of India. He can go to any part of India at any time he wants to. Supreme Lord Krishna is much, much, much more than Prime Minister Modi. And also they say, oh, how he can have a form. Again, we are trying to put a condition on him. Why can't he have a form? His form, we might look like him, but we are not equal to him. Krishna says there is nobody equal to or superior to him. The pastimes that he performs, nobody can do that. But doesn't mean he doesn't have a form. He has a form. And he shows his form. But we still don't believe. Why? Asram Avamasha. There are others who make him subordinate to the impersonal feature, although the opposite is declared in the Gita. They say, original is impersonal feature, Nirakar, and from that Nirakar, this Akar of Krishna and Ram has come. Where did they get this idea from? As Prabhupada said, opposite is declared in the Gita. Krishna himself says, this Nirakar form is dependent on me. When somebody says me means person, me. Envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the atheist will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons, whose very principle of life is to decry the personality of Godhead, cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So obviously, they don't even believe in the form of the Lord, in the Lord. So how are they going to surrender? And 99.9% population falls in this category, either atheist or Nirakarvadi, Nirvisheshvadi. They don't believe. It's only the devotees of the Lord, because they have received the mercy, then they give this mercy to others and bring them on the path of devotional service. So right now there's all this big thing going on about Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. It's wonderful, it's great. But how many of us believe, really believe, that Lord Ram is there once all the Pran Pratishtha is done? How many of us will really believe that Lord Ram is there in that temple? Or will believe the Murti is there, the Vigraha is there? Mostly people will not believe that Lord Ram himself is there. The Vigraha, Murti is there, yeah. Murti, very nice. Laddu, very nice, yeah. No, Lord himself is there. This is the meaning of Prana Pratishtha. Of course, that Murti actually doesn't need Prana Pratishtha because it's being made from Shaligram Shila. Shaligram Shila means you don't need to install. But even if they do installation, for whatever reasons, means the Lord is there in the form of that Murti. Not that Murti and Lord are separate. And when Lord is there, if we really believe, then how we should be behaving, whether in the temple or in Ayodhya Dham or outside also. The Lord is there, the Supreme Lord. If we are sitting in our home or when we go to office, and suppose a very, very important person, leader, business leader, maybe either Elon Musk or Bill Gates or President Biden, they come to our office, how attentive we would be, how careful we would be in whatever we are saying, whatever we are doing. And these are, okay, very important persons, whatever, they're rich or political leaders, but not as important as the Supreme Lord himself. And how careful we should be when we go to the temple. Actually, we don't go to the temple to take darshan of the Lord. We go to the temple to mark our presence. So Lord sees us, yes, he came. Because like Surdas ji, he used to go to temple every day. He was blind. The people used to make fun of him. That why I have come today? He cannot see the Lord. He said, I cannot see the Lord, but he can see me. That I have come. I have marked my attendance. So, but the mood should be not just to mark our attendance. Sutaji is a different mode, very highly elevated. But the mood should be to go and serve, whichever way we can serve. But those who don't have this kind of knowledge, attitude, or the consciousness, they'll bring about all kinds of doubts about the Lord. Sri Yamunacharya al-Bandaru of South India said, "O my Lord, you are unknowable to persons involved with atheistic principles. Despite your uncommon qualities, features, and activities, despite your personalities being confirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness, and despite your being acknowledged by the famous authorities renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science and situated in the godly qualities." Yamunacharya says, you're just unknowable. And he is unknowable for those who are not surrendered. He says in 18th chapter, Bhakti Mam Abhijanati, only by bhakti I am to be known. In 10th chapter, he said, those who serve me with love and devotion, I give them the knowledge by which they come to me. So, loving service, serving with love and devotion, Bhakti Mama, only can happen by the mercy of devotees. Otherwise, no, one cannot have bhakti. Might be a big scholar, one can become a very important figure in the society, but without bhakti, Krishna says he's lowest of the mankind. Therefore, one, a grossly foolish persons, two, the lowest of mankind, three, the deluded speculators, and four, the professed atheists. As above mentioned, never surrender unto the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, in spite of all scriptural and authoritative advice. So very, very difficult situation for them. And as Prabhupada said, this 99.9% of human population is Naradham. They don't surrender. So, text 16. So, what about those who surrender? Then who is a devotee? Krishna says, Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna. Arto jigyasur artharthi jnani cha bharatarisham. O best among the Bharats, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotion service unto me. The distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So, unlike the miscreants, there are adherents of the regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukritina, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are 4 classes of men: those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. So these persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotion service under different conditions. So under different material conditions. Artho, distressed. Artho, artharthi means wants money. Artho, artharthi, jigyasu, inquisitive, and jnani, knowledge, those who have knowledge. So they come to me, and they are considered pious. Krishna didn't say they are considered devotees. The 4 kinds of pious men. So they are pious. Chaturvita bhajante mam jana sukritino Arjun. But slowly, they can become devotees. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. And without aspiration and without any material aspiration and without desire for material profit. In fact, pure devotional service goes to such an extent that even if Lord wants to give something material to a devotee, he refuses to accept. No, I don't. That's how the relationship works between the devotees and the Lord. The Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu defines pure devotion as follows. Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktiruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. This is called pure devotional service. Bhaktir Uttama. So, rendering transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably. So that is the key word here. Anukulena. Favorably means to please Krishna. That is devotion service. When these 4 kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotion service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with the pure devotee, also become pure devotees. So coming in contact, in association. That's what Rupa Goswami says, no? Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. It starts with Shraddha, or in fact starts with the curiosity. Let me find out what these devotees are doing. What are they saying? What books they are giving? Then it starts, then sadhu sangha. And then bhajan kriya, then anartha nivritti, and so many steps will happen. But it starts with Shraddha. Shraddha means curiosity, and then sadhu-sang. Sadhu-sang is the most important. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress, and at that time associate with pure devotees and become in their distress devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God. And they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma, and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord or as pure devotee. So slowly or some way or the other, if they come in contact with the pure devotee, they can become devotees. On the whole, when the distressed, inquisitive, seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. It's not that they completely shun money or material things. Some sadhus do. But Prabhupada was like, you bring me more money, because his idea was more money is there that he can use it more in the service of Krishna. Money is not the problem. The attachment to the money and how we use that money, that is where the problem is. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, a search for knowledge, etc. So tainted means it's not Shuddha Bhakti, it's like Karma Mishrit Bhakti or Jnana Mishrit Bhakti, some tinge is there. So then slowly that also goes away. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service. And everybody is on his in his own way. He's making progress at his own speed. So the idea is to encourage everybody, motivate everybody to perform devotional service, and slowly it can transform into pure devotional service. But the idea is not to remain in those four categories who don't surrender at all. Even if somebody needs money, Krishna says, just come to me. Don't go to demigods. Don't do anything else. Come to me. I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice class.
Thank you, Mata. You all have safe and wonderful day.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Jai Shri
Thank you, Prabhuji.